Good evening for those watching us from Indonesia. Good morning for those connected from Brazil. First of all, I'd like to thank Hugo Prita, Mrs. Gisile and Mrs. Candy for this kind invitation. It's always a great pleasure to take part in APRN events. I also want to thank my GA colleagues, especially Justin, for his great work running the organization. Well, I'm Tato Carbonaro, PhD specializing in identity and institutional narratives. I'll share with you today some thoughts about how do we manage brand and reputation to help reduce the impact to sustainability and livelihood in the new normal. The theme I was asked to talk about is very provocative, and I'd like to start this conversation posing another question for you. How could brand and reputation help impact in anything? Well, you don't have to worry. I won't go deep into concepts and theories, but we might have a quick look into what is reputation and brand and how we could manage that. There are a lot of definitions for reputation, but almost all of them comes from how something is perceived by a third party. Or, in the case we are dealing here, how a company is perceived by its audience. So, you can't really manipulate your reputation, can you? Of course, we do have many ways to guide the audience aiming a better reputation, but by the end of the day, it's always a third-party perception. Brand is something you build from the beginning, and having a great symbolic representation might be a good start to have a good reputation, but is that enough? Let's watch a short video from the World Economic Forum to see how they foresee the relationship between companies and the environment in the so-called new normal. The World Economic Forum video brings attention to two things. First, humanity's relationship with nature is broken. And second, we are capable of drastic change at a great speed. And they go through many arguments on how they could change our relationship with nature, talking about food, the use of the land, how we behave against the ocean, and the importance of rethinking cities, the impact of mining, etc. What caught my attention in the video, however, is that it's a call to action. No reputation can survive without balancing reality. So, getting back to the start question that was posed about how do we manage brand and reputation to help to reduce the impact to sustainability and livelihood, The answer for me is very clear. You must get involved in nature positive actions. As said in the video, seeking an economy that invests in nature rather than harms it. You can't manage brand and reputation to help to reduce the impact to sustainability and livelihood. You can manage your actions which will impact to sustainability and livelihood. And then your communication team can act to improve your reputation and strengthen your brand. In Brazil, we had recently two good examples on how business can lobby for nature. As you might know, Brazil's far-right president was elected vowed to explore the rainforest economic potential, which is not a problem in itself. The point is that what we have seen was a path to dismantling of environmental protections and economic policies that have set the stage for an environmental disaster. So, at the end of last June, an investment fund who managed assets of more than $4 trillion sent a letter to President Bolsonaro asking the government to act to stop deforestation in the Amazon. Just to have a better picture of how much money we're talking about here, Brazil's GDP in 2019 was around $1.8 trillion, while Indonesia's GDP was about $1 trillion. So 4 trillion is for Indonesia or 2.5 Brazil's GDP. Well, last week a study published in the journal Science, a very respected journal, called The Rotten Apples of Brazil's Agribusiness, linked illegal deforestation rural properties in the Amazon and Cerrado, another Brazilian biodiverse region, to half of Brazilian beef exports and almost a quarter of soy exports to the European Union. Well, both the investment fund and the European Union are threatening to stop investing or buying from Brazil because of government mismanagement of environmental issues. On the other hand, in Lebanon, urban gardeners are growing their own food to curb hunger and surpass the economic crisis that was intensified by the COVID-19. Just for the records, Lebanon imports around 80% of its food, and with a worsening currency crisis, prices have skyrocketed, exposing a more urgent and alarming issue regarding food availability. And to go back to companies, maybe the best example we have in Brazil, yes, we do have some good examples in Brazil. The best example is surely Natura & Co., which englobes Avon and The Body Shop. Natura has a long path in alignment with the Sustainable Development Goals and a great action to work together with local communities in the Amazon and other biomes. But are brands ready to take the stage and play an active role in changing policies and really lobby for nature? Well, we all know we're facing a harsh moment in terms of public sphere, with an open narrative dispute over many subjects from climate change to the format of Earth, with some questioning whether if it's round or not. But the power of business could make the difference. It has the power to guide policies within their countries and around the world, pressuring for changes in a fairer economy. If this new normal will really exist and we're not getting back to the old normal, like we did in 2008 crisis when we decided to save the biggest banks and leave people aside, if we want a new normal, meaning a better normal, companies will have to leave their comfort zone and face this hostile public sphere to make their statements. We'll have to act for a circular economy, be responsible for our waste, pursue long-term priorities like sustainable development. And the term sustainable means not only environment, but also share the profit, reduce social difference, and give up privileges. Well, we don't need a new normal, we need a better normal. This crisis poses an invaluable opportunity for us to rethink our values and for companies to rethink their core business and incorporate resilient and sustainable values into their daily actions. Maybe we need a great reset. Everyone has a role to play. The role your company chooses to itself is what will determine its impact to sustainability and livelihood. Are companies ready for the new normal? This year is a very important year for climate and sustainability agenda. It's a year to review the climate targets and bring on a movement towards nature-based solutions. Our countries, Brazil and Indonesia, hold the greatest forests and biodiversity riches of the world. No one else has more than we do. And our business and governments should consider the incalculable value the nature brings in incorporating into every practice and every business model. Without real changes, there is no much PR experts could do to help their company's reputation. Once again, I want to thank you for the kind invitation, and I'm open to questions.